What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of big news that happened prior to the game against the Sacramento Kings that I was unable to talk about at the time. Now, at the end of the day, the harsh reality is when I'm from Australia, obviously a lot of news happens when I'm sleeping. So big trades that could happen, I could be asleep for. Injury updates, I could be asleep for. And all these big news categories, including the All-Star and who got selected into the All-Star game, I was asleep for. I was not awake to see all these news. So I'm going to be talking about it, yes, a day later, but also, I guess the most important thing about this video is to discuss my opinions on the situation and what I think about this whole Zach LaVine situation. And if you guys are unaware, I'll give you the news as well. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Zach LaVine situation and what does it mean for the Chicago Bulls in its entirety. Now, if you guys are unaware of the news, Zach LaVine will be undergoing season-ending surgery and is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks of action. If you guys didn't know, he hurt his ankle. He was hobbling around on the game he got injured. I think it was the Raptors, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember the exact game. He was hobbling around a little bit, sat on the bench, and I think he did end up returning in the game, but whatever the case may be, he ended up being out for several weeks, about 2 weeks now, and now he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So that's the news. Basically, Zach LaVine, with communication with Clutch Sports and the Chicago Bulls, they've been in conversation with each other the whole time to discuss that season-ending surgery. Zach LaVine is going to go through with it. So again, it's upsetting. Now, first and foremost, I have to talk about the man before the player, the individual before the superstar, if you know what I mean. Because Zach LaVine, you know, he gets a lot of critique as a basketball player. Some people really do like him as a basketball player. And at his best, he's a very good basketball player. But the man comes first. It's with everything in life. The man has to come first. So I want to quickly and swiftly say, get well soon, Zach LaVine. Hopefully in 4 to 6 months' time, whether you are on the Bulls or whether you are on any other team, you find your way back to full health, you get full seasons under your legs, and whatever the case may happen, I just wish you the best of luck in your rehab, in your surgery, and of course in your future, right? I think that is absolutely necessary. And if those guys that are saying we shouldn't be wishing Zach LaVine all the best, to be honest, no disrespect intended here, it's not necessarily the target audience I'm looking for. I always want to discuss with people that focus on the man first before the player. So that's what I wanted to make very clear before we proceed in this video. But now we must talk about what it means for the Chicago Bulls. Because again, we are Bulls fans at the end of the day also, and we have to discuss the implications of what the future could mean for Zach LaVine as a Chicago Bull, and for the Chicago Bulls with or without Zach LaVine. So my initial thoughts are, unless a team desperately wants Zach LaVine, it is very unlikely that Zach LaVine is going to get a trade out of Chicago this season. This surgery, again, a team might have wanted Zach LaVine to save their season. Yes, they might want it for the future as well, but for example, a team like the Lakers that are trying to compete this season for an NBA championship, and if they wanted Zach LaVine, well, Zach LaVine undergoing season-ending surgery, there's no need for Zach LaVine anymore. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, that's up in the air for next season. But this season, they could have used the Zach LaVine and simply put, Zach LaVine won't be available for a team like the Lakers or whatever the case may be. So unless there is a team that truly sees a long-term future in Zach LaVine, sees a long-term goal, a long-term destination that Zach LaVine can help with, I very much doubt he's going to get traded by the trade deadline. And that is the upsetting thing, because if you guys are unaware, Zach LaVine has made it public through his agency that he doesn't want to be in Chicago anymore, and the Chicago Bulls have pretty much made it simple and open that they are open to a trade idea for Zach LaVine. So it's a mutual agreement in many ways. The Bulls want to get rid of Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine wants to depart from the Chicago Bulls as the organization. And the fact that no one's going to really get what they want here, in my opinion, is an upsetting one. And that is all you can really put it down to at the end of the day. So unless a team really wants Zach LaVine, I can't see him getting traded before the trade deadline. It will have to be an off-season move. And that means the patience that the Bulls have been having all season, it's pretty much going to come to waste because the trade deadline is going to come to an end, and most likely Zach LaVine will not leave the Chicago Bulls, and therefore there's probably a big chance that the Bulls make no significant moves by the trade deadline. And that's going to upset and piss a lot of Bulls fans off. We've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. A lot of people are worried at the fact that the Bulls won't make any significant trades. And when I mean significant, I mean the Zach LaVine trade. I mean a trade that is so big that it determines our future. Not bench pieces, not pieces that don't necessarily bring significant, I guess, value to the Chicago Bulls in their long-term future. I mean a trade that really seriously changes the Chicago Bulls, whether it's in a different retooling direction or a rebuilding direction. We're not going to see that by the trade deadline. That will upset a lot of people. So here's what I predict is going to happen for the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine will stay as a Chicago Bull. Zach LaVine will obviously miss the rest of the season. There's probably a good chance that he won't be even with the bench for the most part of the season. He'll probably have his surgery and chill in LA to do his recovery and rehab, which makes sense. That's what Lonzo Ball is doing. I'm assuming Zach LaVine might do the same thing. Bulls fans will be furious at the Chicago Bulls for not making any significant trades, because they'll still say, well, look, we can't trade Zach LaVine. No one wants Zach LaVine right now. But we still could have traded DeMar DeRozan. We still could have traded Nikola Vucevic. We still could have traded some bench assets. We could have done something. That's what Bulls fans are going to say. We could have done something. And it looks like there's a good chance we won't see the Bulls do something. Because let's be honest, the Bulls want to keep DeMar DeRozan. That has been public knowledge for a long time. The Bulls just re-signed Nikola Vucevic. So there's a very slim chance in my eyes that they're going to trade him this season. So it doesn't look like the Bulls are going to do anything. And then the barrage of attack from, I guess, the Arturas Karnisovas in the front office will be something we all have to deal with. It's not going to be just me that has to deal with something like this. For example, when I'm in watch-alongs and when I'm doing YouTube videos and stuff of that nature, I'm very sure that a lot of people are going to come and vent their frustrations about the Bulls doing nothing. And that's going to affect me, it's going to affect them, and it's going to affect all of Bulls Nation. And other Bulls content creators will have to do the same thing. And just in general, fans are going to have to go through that frustration. And it's going to be very warranted frustration. And it's going to make people doubt AK even more. Some people will just say, we'll wait till the off-season to see what we can do. Some people will say this season is a write-off. Some people will say all these things, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that there's not much that the Bulls are going to do. And I feel sorry for the Bulls in many ways, because it feels like any time that they want to make a significant change, it doesn't go their way. I mean, again, no one could have predicted Lonzo Ball to be out for 2.5 years or whatever the case may be and have this type of injury that could potentially ruin his NBA career. Potentially. Let's hope it doesn't. No one could predict that Zach LaVine, so there's even arguments that Zach LaVine is faking this whole thing and is doing the season-ending surgery just so he couldn't go to the Pistons. But you can't, again, no one expected Zach LaVine, when he's been out already for a long time this season, to just say I'm having season-ending surgery and that's it. No one expects that. So every time the Bulls actually want to make a trade or want to do a move, they get stopped in their tracks and it feels like they can't do anything. And I feel sorry for them. But at the end of the day, it's a tough business. It's a tough job. Again, when you're focusing on entertainment and you're focusing on competitive sports, there's little to no room to error. Otherwise, you're going to get blamed. It's a tough job. No one says the Bulls GM position, the Bulls creating a team, the Bulls organization is an easy place to work and an easy place to be. But this is their job. They have to make the changes. They have to do what they feel is necessary to make this team go in the right direction. And I guess the question now that you have to ask is that with this team right here, is this the right direction that you see the Bulls going in? We're going to have to see AK do an interview after the trade deadline, that's for sure. We know a buyout market will always be an option for the Chicago Bulls. But you have to seriously consider, is this the right option for the Bulls to do nothing, keep the team the way that it is, and progress into the rest of the season? Will they say we can't do anything? Will they say we felt the team was doing well and that we didn't want to change it? I don't know what they're going to say. But they have to seriously consider these things before they do any business and before, I guess, they come out to speak to the Bulls media and Bulls fans. So there's a lot there that we're going to have to, I guess, wait and see about. But yeah, upsetting. Definitely upsetting. And it's also upsetting because, let's be honest, the way that this Bulls team is, you saw it against the Kings, you've seen it a couple of other games as well, the wins and the losses, the Bulls need more than what they have. And that was the best part about the Zach LaVine trade. Yes, you're losing a good player there, but if you went in a direction to go younger, you had stronger assets there that can help this team. You went for a veteran, well, okay, there's someone that can help there. There's picks that can help there. There's an all-star level player on the other side of that trade that could help. Whatever we decided to do, there was help there for the Bulls that we need now. And that's upsetting as well. What do you think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.